Aloha everyone. Hope you're all doing absolutely amazing. It's been a while since I've done a Facebook Live and so looking forward to this one. Today I'm talking about a Huna topic. I'm talking about the law of cycles and rhythms, one of the big four laws. There's four big ones, and this is one of the first laws that you would need to learn before you would get into anything like the law of attraction. And before we jump into that, I'm here in Austin. If you hear some noise in the background, the team over there, they're kind of getting everything ready. They're kind of getting everything ready for the Austin training and really helping to, get the year going. And, it's so amazing to start off the year in Austin. Absolutely love it. I love starting the year off in Austin because it's just such a good group, such an amazing group here. And we get rolling here in Austin regularly. Got about 100 or so people coming in. And Norte, good to see you. So glad that you're on here. And I know it's been a little while. Thanking Deanne, and Deanne just actually logged in. Thanking Deanne for filling in while I was in Japan, while I was traveling. And so let's jump in. Like I said, I want to talk about the law of cycles and rhythms. The law of cycles and rhythms is a pretty important one. There are four major laws, and the four major laws are cause and effect, perception is interpretation, and cycles and rhythm, and creation. Now, depends on what order that you would learn it in. Perception is interpretation is usually the first one. Perception is interpretation is usually the first one that you learn, and that is that the world outside of you is actually a reflection of you. The second one is cause and effect. The second one is cause and effect, and that is that the actions that you take create a repercussion, otherwise known as karma. The third one that you would typically learn is creation. And creation is the idea that everything that is created is a division. Hot, cold, night, day, all of these divisions that we have from a universal perspective, and even our own personal divisions, that's called the law of creation. I know I'm kind of jumping in at the end here. I wanted to talk about the law of cycles and rhythms. The law of cycles and rhythms is that anything that has been divided for the sake of creation, like day and night, interact with each other. There's an energy that goes back and forth between these two divisions. So hot and cold. There's an energy that goes back and forth between that division. Day and night. Now you see this, right? You see this. It's winter time right now, and I need to post some of the pictures. I was just up in Erie with my daughter, teaching her how to drive. Just absolutely amazing. And the night lasts longer in Erie right now. The night lasts longer, so it's colder. There's snow on the ground. And in the summer, when the day lasts longer, that's giving off more energy. Now that's cycles and rhythms. Cycles and rhythms is really simple. We're used to it in nature, especially if you live farther south, farther north, or farther south on the planet. You get used to the cycles and rhythms of nature. Well, the deeper meaning with cycles and rhythms, the deeper meaning also has to do with the fact that you need to learn your own cycles and rhythms. You need to learn your own approach to how you experience your reality. So, for example, let's go with the simple one. Some people are day or morning people. Some people are morning, they wake up, they feel really good. Some people are not morning people, they're night people. And yet so many people fight against their own natural cycle and rhythm. I teach my clients, I teach my kids, it's okay to go with your natural cycle and rhythm. My son, who's back there right now helping with setup, when he was younger, not a morning person. I'll double check with him, but it still seems to be the case. Not exactly his favorite time of day. My daughter, total morning person. She's a teenager, not as much as she used to be. She used to come down the stairs in the morning. She would be singing. She would be super happy about life. And Ethan would be sitting at the kitchen counter and his head would be down. And one day she slid over and she goes, "Daddy, why is Ethan so grumpy in the morning?" He was a teenager and he just looked at her like, "Arr." It's like, Skylar, that's not the kind of question that you want to ask. Well, Skylar got things done better in the morning. Sometimes not just homework, but even just thinking, brainstorming, coming up with ideas and whatnot. Ethan, he preferred nighttime. So I said, rather than fighting that, why don't you utilize that? Like a a person who fishes. They go down to the beach. Now, where I'm from, we have a shellfish, kind of like abalone. It's called opihi, and it grows on the shells, on the rocks on the side of the beach. Now, you wouldn't go down during high tide and scream at the ocean and say, you know, why aren't you low tide right now? I want opihi. If you fish, you know the tides. Well, you got to learn your tides. You got to learn your cycles and rhythms. It's one of the big laws of Huna that you really got to learn your own cycles. I remember it wasn't here in Austin, but it was somewhere in the beginning of a year. We were doing a prac training, and this guy came up to me and said, my wife, every time she wants to talk, I'm just not in the mood. And every time I approach her, like I'm in the mood, I want to deal with our issues, she just never wants to open up and talk. What should I do? And I said, let me get this straight. You have an awareness of the cycles and rhythms. You actually have an awareness of when your wife wants to talk and when she doesn't. I said, here's an idea. Why don't you talk with her when she wants to talk? And why don't you not talk to her when she's not interested in talking? Like one of those mic drop moments. And he said, no, but, and I said, no, here's the deal. It's just like day and night. If I walk outside tonight and it's dark, I'm either going to turn on a flashlight or I'm going to go somewhere where there is light. I'm not going to sit there and curse the sun for going down. No, I'm going to utilize the tools that I have. So cycles and rhythms, pretty simple, and yet here's the task that I have for you. I want you to this week take a look at what are your natural cycles and rhythms. Kind of like a surfer, someone who works with the ocean. Learn how to roll with them. Learn how to be working with them rather than being worked by them. That way you're able to get in touch with your cycles and rhythms. And eventually what happens is you gain the capability to actually step out of it, to step out of any cycles and rhythms that don't work for you. Okay? Awesome. I hope this was fun and really enjoyed joining all of you. Missed you guys for the past couple weeks while I was in Japan, and just the time zone thing was off. So again, big shout out, thank you to Deanne, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Aloha, ahui ho.